What is going on, everybody? My name is Jake with Code 4 Defense, and today we're out here on the range talking about the Smith and Wesson M&P 2.0 Optics Ready full size. Let's get into it. Like I said, today we're out here on the range talking about the Smith and Wesson 2.0 4.25-inch full-size Optics Ready edition of the Smith and Wesson M&P. This thing is kind of their duty-style handgun. It, I think, is mostly geared towards the law enforcement crowd. It's a little bit longer than the compact, and obviously not as long as the 5-inch version, but it's a full-size frame, 4.25-inch barrel, and it's, again, kind of geared more towards that duty style, everyday use handgun, not necessarily a concealed carry handgun by any means. We'll do just like what we always do, starting front to back, working top to bottom, giving you an external overview of the M&P 2.0. So starting at the front here, you can see it's actually from the factory installed with metal suppressor height night sights even. And this thing is very bright. It's paired with a 3-dot rear. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. So it's a 3-dot setup when it's just the irons, and very bright tritium at night. Works very well. You can see that it's got front serrations up here for getting a purchase on the handgun if you're going to rack it from the front, or if you want to do a press check, if that's something that you're into. Working back even further, you can see it's got a loaded chamber indicator by way of just a direct window into the breech there. So if there's brass through that hole, you'd be able to see it, tell that the gun's loaded. As we come even further back, one of the most notable features on this model particularly is that it's their Optics Ready version. So this actually came factory cut with metal optic plates that work for all the different major red dots that are on the market right now. So this is the Swamp Fox Justice, and it fits an RMR style footprint. So I've got that plate installed on there, and I fired somewhere around 600 rounds through this thing now without any issues on that plate coming loose, unscrewed, any type of issue down the road. And I've done several manipulations, smacking that against different objects to do emergency reloads or emergency slide stops, things like that. And I haven't had any issues with this optics plate coming loose or losing zero or anything like that. Continuing back, you can see, again, the rear sight there. Metal, 2 white dot tritium night sight, very tall suppressor sight. This actually allows you to get a full co-witness with the iron sights through the red dot, so that you have your backup iron sights if you need them. Working forward, again, you can see it's got a full pick rail right there for any of the standard lights, lasers, whatever you want to put on the handgun, which for a duty style handgun, I think that's a must. And it works very well. I had my X300 Ultra on it when I was first running this thing. No issues with that whatsoever. Continuing back, takedown lever, and then it's actually got an ambi slide stop that is very prominent, and it's extremely easy to actuate. So doing slide stop reloads with this works extremely well, and I'm not sure if you can get a good profile of that, but it's extremely prominent when it comes out. Not so much so that when I get a good firing grip on it, it has an issue with me depressing it. In fact, I never had an issue accidentally depressing it with it not going into slide stop. So very nice design on that. Works very well. Continuing back, you can see that we've got a very crescent shaped trigger. This is by far my least favorite aspect of the M&P. While I think the trigger pull on it is nice, I despise this shoe. The 2 hinge design, super crescent shape of it. I just don't like. That's a personal thing for me. That's nothing against the gun. The trigger on it is a good standard duty style trigger, and we'll show you just what that feels like. Here's the wall, so very little take up, pretty clean break, no over travel. Here is the reset. No real creep in the trigger whatsoever. Like I said, it breaks really clean. It actually feels good, the trigger, for a stock duty style handgun. I just don't like the shoe. So this is something that I'm going to end up changing out in the future, just because it's not my favorite thing. Continuing down, you can see it's got a magazine release, which is switchable to be ambidextrous. It's not fully ambidextrous, meaning I can't activate it from this side. I have to reverse it. But the magazines drop very freely. It's a very prominent magazine release, meaning it sticks out quite a bit, so it's very easy to do emergency reloads with. You don't have an issue getting it with your thumb. And like I said, the magazines fall out very nicely. The continuing down on the handle of the firearm here, you can see it's got very aggressive stippling on it. And I would say almost too aggressive. I hate to say that, only from the standpoint that I think it's very grippy. It works really well for shooting. I can tell you that if I was carrying this on duty, 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, you're going to ruin a lot of uniform shirts from it just swinging across your long sleeve uniform shirt, which, that's, I guess, if I had to pick between a non-stippled slick frame handgun or one that I could actually grip onto if I was bloody or wet or sweaty, I would choose that and change out my uniform shirts more often. So it's not like it's a huge con. It's just one of those things that I think is worth mentioning in terms of it will cause wear on your shirts. There's no two ways about it. That said, these palm swells are adjustable. You just take this out, take the palm swell out, put a new one in, so it's got adjustability for different hand sizes. I just left it stock because it fit my hand very well. And I can tell you, the grip on this thing is awesome. It's so good in terms of getting a nice firing grip on it. It fills your hand nicely. I feel like I get a good purchase on it. My support hand can come in here very nicely and get a good amount of contact on it. And controlling the recoil on it is very easy with that. So the grip on it is probably my favorite part of it. It functions extremely well. And, if I was going to compare it to anything, Glock is kind of, for the civilian market in the duty world, policing world, the de facto duty style handgun. And I actually think this is a better grip than the Glock. I've carried a Glock for a long time, and I'll continue to carry a Glock. However, I can say that I like this grip more than I do my Glock in terms of the ergonomics and just how comfortable it is to get a good firing grip with. Speaking of the magazines here, they are steel framed, polymer follower, polymer base, and they've got windows cut out so that you can see all the way down. They hold 17 rounds plus one in the chamber, makes it an 18 round handgun, and the magazines have worked flawlessly. No issues whatsoever with the magazines. Going on to my final thoughts on this thing, it's a great handgun. It's a very good duty handgun. Smith and Wesson stepped up their game with the M&P 2.0. I can tell you from personal experience, anecdotally, the original M&Ps, they had a lot of issues from what I saw when I was on the range with guys that were using them in a duty capacity. And I can tell you that my Glocks never did. However, this second generation M&P 2.0, it works great. I will say, full disclosure on this guy, I got it as part of the Rangemaster program, which is offered to firearms instructors at a very reduced rate. So I paid a very reduced rate for this gun. I think they're trying to get more of these out into the hands of people so that they can R&D departments and whatnot. But I can tell you that if I was to pay full price, I would be very pleased with what I purchased. The handgun works extremely well. The features that you get out of the box are very nice. Ambi slide stops, full metal suppressor height sights, the Optics Ready cut with the different mounting bases, 3 magazines, 3 17-round magazines. for a duty setup, this thing is perfect. It's a very good handgun, and I have had absolutely no malfunctions with it. Running pretty hot ammunition out of it, some pretty bad ammunition out of it that I had to shoot up, and it hasn't caused me any issues whatsoever. So like I said, very cool handgun. I've been very, very pleased with it. If you like any of the accessories you saw in the videos of me shooting it, go to code4defense.com. You can get all of your Kydex accessories that you would want for the old M&P 2.0 full-size 5-inch and the actual M&P 2.0 compact, which is kind of our more popular holster option when it comes to the 2.0 series. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Be sure to leave any questions that you have for me in the comments below. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.